Welcome to this comprehensive lecture on bilateral crossbite, a malocclusion that reveals how airway, musculature, and skeletal form intertwine. We'll unpack 3 real cases: a child with mouth-breathing-related narrowing, a young adult requiring surgical assistance, and an adolescent with a scissors bite. By the end, you'll understand not only how to treat crossbites, but how to reason through why they happen. Case 1. Young girl, age 12. History and chief complaint. Young girl's mother brings her in, saying her teeth look too narrow when she smiles. Young girl's primary teeth had the same appearance. Her mother's upper arch is also narrow, showing a possible genetic influence. Young girl is asthmatic, prone to respiratory infections, and breathes through her mouth. She snores at night and feels sleepy during the day. This is our first clue. Airway and occlusion are deeply linked. Let's ask, how is mouth breathing related to crossbite formation? Pathophysiology. Mouth breathing and muscle balance. When nasal airflow is blocked, the head posture shifts slightly forward and downward to open the airway. The tongue drops to the floor of the mouth, and the buccinator muscles gain dominance without tongue counterpressure. Over years, this buccinator pressure constricts the maxillary arch laterally, producing a bilateral buccal crossbite. This same airway obstruction causes snoring and, in children, may be linked to sleep-disordered breathing and daytime drowsiness. Analogy. Think of the tongue as a natural orthodontic expander. Remove its pressure from the palate, and the cheeks take over, squeezing the maxilla inward. Clinical examination. Extraoral and intraoral. Findings: young girl's skeletal pattern is class 1, with slightly increased FMPA and no facial asymmetry. Her lips are incompetent. Intraorally, oral hygiene is fair with mild gingivitis. There's mild crowding, and both sides show a bilateral buccal crossbite, upper teeth sitting inside the lowers from first molar to canine. This presentation tells us it's not a simple dental issue. The entire maxillary arch is constricted. Radiographic assessment and cephalometric interpretation. Radiographs reveal normal third molars developing. Cephalometric findings: SNA 81 degrees, SNB to 79 degrees, ANB 2 degrees, class 1 skeletal base. MMPA 28 degrees, slightly increased. Upper incisors proclined, 11-13 degrees, lower normal, 93 degrees, interincisal angle, 38 degrees, facial proportion 56%. Interpretation: essentially normal skeletal balance with minor vertical increase, so the constriction is transverse, not sagittal. Diagnosis and treatment objectives. Diagnosis: class 1. Malocclusion on class 1 skeletal pattern, with mild crowding, bilateral buccal crossbite, and gingivitis. Treatment aims: 1. Improve oral hygiene. 2. Correct the bilateral crossbite. 3. Relieve crowding and align midlines. The index of treatment, need IOTN here, is 3D, due to contact point displacement. Treatment options for bilateral crossbite. There are several paths to expansion depending on age and skeletal maturity. Removable expansion plate, for primary or early mixed dentition. Slow, light force, limited skeletal effect. Quad-Helix, 1 mm stainless steel wire banded to molars. Effective slow expansion in young patients can derotate molars and expand anteriorly or posteriorly. Rapid maxillary expansion, RME, ideal for adolescents requiring 5 mm expansion. Activates the mid-palatal suture orthopedically. Surgically assisted RME, SARPE, for skeletally mature adults with heavy interdigitation of sutures. For young girl, RME was chosen because she's 12, within the window where sutural separation is nearly 100% successful. Mechanics of rapid maxillary expansion, clinical deep dive. The Hyrax appliance was selected, bands on the 4s and 6s connected by a mid-palatal expansion screw. It's purely tooth-borne, minimizing tissue impingement. Explaining biomechanics, activation involves turning the screw twice daily, about 0.05 mm per day, delivering 10-20 lb 4.59 kgs of force. That's enough to microfracture the interdigitated sutures. Because the suture opens more anteriorly, a midline diastema develops within days. Patients should be reassured. This gap is temporary. Soft tissue elasticity will close it during retention. Analogy. Imagine opening a book slightly at its spine. The pages separate most at the front. The palate behaves the same way. Side effects and retention. With RME, some molar extrusion occurs, causing a transient mandibular backward rotation and reduced overbite. To retain correction, the appliance is left passive for about 3 months. After removal, a Hawley retainer with palatal acrylic coverage or a modified transpalatal arch maintains width during alignment. Case 2, young boy, age 19, adult crossbite and SARPE. Young boy is 19, concerned about the narrow smile and poor bite. He shows a narrow maxillary arch, bilateral posterior crossbite, upper crowding, and minimal overbite. Because he's skeletally mature, traditional RME won't work. The mid-palatal suture is fused. This is where surgically assisted rapid palatal expansion, SARPE, becomes essential. SARPE, concept and procedure. SARPE combines orthopedic and surgical approaches. The surgeon performs lateral maxillary cuts, similar to Lefort 1, but without down fracture, reducing resistance so the expansion screw can open the maxilla under controlled force. Activation starts 2 days post-op at the same rate as RME. It functions like distraction osteogenesis. New bone fills in as the maxilla expands. Clinical Pearl, SARPE, is especially valuable when 50 mm transverse expansion is needed or when nasal airway improvement is desired. It's also more stable long-term than conventional surgical widening, though a palate covering retainer is worn for a year post-surgery. Case 3, young boy, age 13, bilateral lingual scissors, crossbite. Young boy, 13, presents with prominent upper teeth and crooked lower molars. He has a Class 2 Div 1 malocclusion with bilateral lingual crossbite, also called a scissors bite, affecting both 5-4-5 segments. His early loss of lower E's at age 7 allowed mesial drift of 6s and lingual tipping of 5s. Extraorally, he has a Class 2 skeletal pattern with slightly reduced FMPA. This combination, local tooth loss plus skeletal discrepancy, explains the scissors bite. Treatment approach for lingual crossbite, Frankel 2 plus fixed therapy. Because young boy still has growth potential, treatment began with a Frankel II functional appliance to modify muscle balance and stimulate mandibular growth. After functional correction, non-extraction fixed appliances were placed to expand the lower arch and correct the buccal lingual discrepancies. Self-ligating brackets like the Damon system were used, though evidence shows only modest efficiency gains compared to conventional systems. Advanced concept. Mandibular midline distraction and key takeaways. For severe mandibular constriction, especially in adults, midline distraction osteogenesis is an option. A vertical osteotomy is made through the symphysis. After a 5-7 day latency, the distractor is turned 0.5 mm daily. New bone and soft tissue form as the mandible widens, similar to SARPE, but adapted to mandibular anatomy. Complications are rare, only about 3% experience root or gingival issues. In all cases, whether RME, SARPE, or distraction, the principle is the same: restore arch symmetry and muscle balance. Retention ensures stability, and the corrected buccal occlusion must interdigitate perfectly to resist relapse. Closing summary. Key takeaways. To conclude this masterclass, bilateral crossbite is often multifactorial: skeletal mismatch, airway obstruction, or habit-driven imbalance. Early detection and correction prevents secondary growth adaptations. In children, slow or rapid expansion. In adults, SARPE or distraction osteogenesis. Always manage the airway, because breathing and occlusion are inseparable. Thank you for joining this in-depth session. If you found it valuable, subscribe for more full-length orthodontic lectures and case-based analysis.